Have you ever spent 30 minutes deciding what message to send? You type it, read it, delete it, write it again, then stare at the screen wondering if it sounds weird. Eventually, you decide not to send anything at all. Or maybe you've stayed awake at 2 in the morning replaying a conversation from years ago, wondering whether you said something embarrassing. If you've ever done that, you're not alone. And here's something surprising. The problem might not be that you're bad at thinking. It might be that you're too good at it. Because some of the smartest people in the world share one frustrating habit. They overthink everything. Every decision, every conversation, every opportunity, every possible outcome. But why does this happen? And why can intelligence sometimes become a trap instead of an advantage? To answer that question, we first need to understand what overthinking really is. Most people assume overthinking means thinking too much. But that's not entirely true. Overthinking is thinking without moving forward. It's getting trapped in a loop where your brain keeps searching for answers long after it should have made a decision. Imagine two people standing in front of the same opportunity. A new job. The first person thinks for a moment and says, "Looks good. I'll give it a try." The second person starts analyzing. What if I fail? What if I don't like it? What if the people there are difficult? What if I leave my current job and regret it? What if I stay and regret not leaving? What if there's a better opportunity later? 10 minutes later, the first person has already submitted the application. The second person is still thinking. An hour later, they're still thinking. A week later, they're still thinking. And eventually, the opportunity disappears. The strange thing is that the second person isn't lazy. They're not careless. They're actually using a skill that usually helps them. Their ability to think deeply. The problem is that intelligence allows people to see more possibilities. And the more possibilities you can imagine, the more potential problems you can see. Most people see 2 or 3 outcomes. An overthinker sees 20. A highly intelligent overthinker might see 100. Every path branches into another path. Every decision creates more decisions. And suddenly, what should have been a simple choice feels impossible. But there's another reason smart people overthink. Your brain is trying to protect you. Thousands of years ago, humans survived by noticing danger. The people who paid attention to threats were more likely to stay alive. If someone heard a strange sound in the bushes and ignored it, they might become lunch for a predator. But the person who stopped and considered every possibility had a better chance of surviving. So evolution rewarded brains that constantly searched for danger. The problem is that your brain doesn't know you're living in the 21st century. It still runs on ancient survival software. Today, you're probably not worried about predators hiding behind trees. Instead, you're worried about rejection, failure, embarrassment, judgment, making mistakes. Your brain treats these modern problems like ancient threats, and it responds the same way, by analyzing everything, over and over again, trying to predict every possible outcome before anything happens. The funny thing is that overthinking often disguises itself as productivity. When you're overthinking, it feels like you're doing something useful. Your brain is busy. You're analyzing details. You're considering possibilities. You're gathering information. It feels like progress. But thinking is not the same thing as acting. Imagine sitting inside a car. You spend hours studying maps. You calculate routes. You estimate traffic. You prepare for every possible obstacle. But you never start the engine. No matter how much planning you do, you're still in the same place. Many intelligent people spend years preparing for a future they never actually begin. Not because they lack ability. Not because they lack opportunities. But because preparation becomes a substitute for action. And that's where overthinking becomes dangerous. Because life rewards action more than perfect planning. Another reason smart people overthink is their relationship with mistakes. Many intelligent people grow up being praised for being smart. Teachers praise them. Parents praise them. Friends expect them to have answers. Over time, they begin to associate their value with being correct. Making mistakes becomes uncomfortable. Failure becomes something to avoid at all costs. So they start analyzing every decision. They want certainty before taking action. They want guarantees. They want proof that everything will work out. But life doesn't work that way. There are no guarantees. No matter how smart you are. No matter how much research you do. No matter how carefully you plan. At some point, you have to move forward without knowing exactly what will happen. And that's something confident people understand. From the outside, confident people often look fearless. But they're not. They experience uncertainty just like everyone else. The difference is that they don't wait for uncertainty to disappear. They act anyway. They understand something that overthinkers often forget. Clarity comes from action, not the other way around. Think about riding a bicycle. You can read books about cycling, watch videos, study balance, analyze techniques. But until you actually get on the bike, you'll never learn how to ride. The same principle applies to almost everything in life. Relationships, careers, business, learning new skills. Confidence isn't built through thinking. It's built through doing. Every action gives you information. Every mistake teaches a lesson. Every experience reduces uncertainty. Ironically, action often provides the answers that thinking could never find. So how can you stop overthinking? The first step is recognizing that most decisions are not permanent. Your brain often treats choices like they're life or death situations. But most aren't. Choose the wrong restaurant. You can eat somewhere else tomorrow. Choose the wrong hobby. You can try another one. Choose the wrong path. You can change direction. Most decisions are far less important than they feel in the moment. The second step is setting limits on thinking. Give yourself a deadline. 10 minutes, 1 hour, 1 day, whatever makes sense. Think carefully during that time. Then make a decision, without reopening the debate. And finally, remember this simple rule. Action creates clarity. Thinking creates possibilities. You need both, but only one moves your life forward. Smart people often believe their intelligence will solve every problem. And many times, it does. But sometimes intelligence creates a new problem. Because the smarter you become, the easier it is to imagine every risk, every failure, every embarrassing outcome, every possible future. And if you're not careful, you'll spend your entire life studying the road instead of walking down it. So the next time you find yourself trapped inside your own thoughts, remember this. You do not need the perfect decision. You do not need complete certainty. You do not need every answer. You only need enough courage to take the next step. Because life isn't changed by the thoughts inside your head. It's changed by the actions you take after thinking. And sometimes, the smartest thing you can do is stop thinking and start moving. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing for more videos.